People watching my channel have recently given me a major milestone in that I think I now have 1 million views on my own channel. It's a wonderful feeling after racking up what I estimate to be 50 million views on everybody else's. There were several waves of piracy which gave me drip-off benefits in getting me here. About 15 months ago I had maybe about 80 subscribers and 80,000 views. And then there was a grassroots push that spread one of my videos in particular, the one I call my new highest note. I've actually done higher notes now by different means. It's a new highest note by that method, all over various social media. And I think the ratio of views outside versus inside my channel at that time was very high. I've had some comparables I've been able to determine since, because I've had one video taken without my consent or being informed or giving me any money, and it's been put in 3 different places. The second highest note, which I called, for lack of a better term, video, F# 7 and that I hope is displaying an improving trend over time. After the first wave, it was the grassroots wave, my video was taken and put on the Fine Brothers video, Try Not to Laugh, etc., number 15. And that generated a ratio of approximately 266 views of theirs for every one of mine. So in the initial 2 million or so, I got maybe 7,500 and some views as far as I could tell or remember. And I got maybe 80 some subscribers over the month when that push happened. Now after that, there was the Tosh 2.0 where my video was put there, and I wouldn't have even known it if it hadn't been for 2 comments on my page. I can't even measure how few views I got, but I think that because I average about 1 comment per 500 views, that I maybe got something like 1,000 views. So in that case, it's similar initial viewership, 2 million, 2.5 million for Tosh. And I got essentially 1 view for every 2,500. I worked out how much money I would make if everybody on the planet watched my video at that ratio, and it wasn't a whole lot. I would not be able to make a living with seven some billion views if I had those all going on TV, because TV, I think it's something definitely you have to stay away from. It's the from my perspective, it's going to be the nastiest medium out there, and because people are there and the show is geared toward them not going on the internet and seeing the material for themselves. Now the next stage down from that, I think, is when my stuff is taken and put on other social media, so there's still somewhat of a barrier for them to come back and view the material on my own page. But in the initial grassroots wave of where I got the drip-off effects of piracy, I did get 500 some subscribers. After that, I got some organic growth, I think, and I do think there were people who just promoted my work and without pirating it. And, thank you very much, those of you who've done it. The earliest success I had was with Kick the BJ, where he put it on his favorites list, and that really meant a lot to me, because I was getting hardly any views at the time. That got me some days with big jumps, or getting maybe a couple thousand views or something like that. The next stage was the obvious, most recent push, where PewDiePie put my video on his channel, and initially it also got about 2 million. Every one of these events generated about 2 million views the first day, or close to it. And this time the conversion rate was, I got about 80,000 views with 2 million on the original pirating page. So in that case, the ratio is only about 25-1, and the subscribers have also been about 10 times better, or more than that, than what I got in the whole month when the Fine Brothers put up their video. I got maybe 83 that month, and this time I've got 1,000 plus so far. So what I hope that means is that over the course of the year, these uploadings are almost exactly a year apart. I hope that means that when in similar circumstances, a Try Not to Laugh video with initial viewership on the pirate site almost exactly the same, that more people are now starting to go look up the source and circumvent the piracy. I think this is something that really needs to happen, that when you watch something and realize it's been pirated, that you go give the support to the people who had their stuff pirated. There's a tie-in with other forms of property rights when we don't respect intellectual property, and we can't build a community based on respect for intellectual property. Then it ties into other things. If we're going to have a society where people are serious about protecting their right to own themselves and to protect their own lives and create a structure where we can support a society based on renewal and of people's cells and bodies, and not always have to have them, being killed off for the support of other institutions, then I think we have to build a framework that is like a neighborhood watch in which people look out for each other's rights. And we have more people on the virtual street who are protecting each other's property than we have people stealing it. So far, I think over the last year, there might have been, based on a comparison of the Fine Brothers effect versus the PewDiePie effect, there may have been a tenfold improvement in the rate of non-criminality, of people seeing, oh, this is copied, I'm going to go see where it came from. And and the Fine Brothers in turn were tenfold better than television, and how much of my stuff was efficiently kept away from my own channel by Tosh 2.0. So that at least is some cause for optimism. I think it's crucial for freedom of speech, freedom of property ownership, freedom of existence, that we don't have over-centralization in media. It's a great thing to have these days for protection of your rights, that there's this implicit knowledge that when somebody comes after you, that they know you have the capacity to tell your story to thousands of people. That's very important, I think, in this time, and it's something practically everybody should have. Ideally, we could also build toward a way of creating currency through labor, which is something the world desperately needs. If we had a way that people could recognize, okay, you've generated these likes and these views and these subscribers, doing something positive for a community, and people might, reciprocate in some way. In order to get there, there are still some huge problems, I think, with the copyright system, in that anyone wishing to claim their rights, as I understand the system, must sacrifice some other rights to do it. Anyone who steals something, I would think in any other area of law, if they're caught, should be expected to give it all back, not to make a business of openly displaying that they've stolen something and keep the major portions of the proceeds of that display even after they're caught. As I understand it at the moment, anybody who wants to shut down a video that has a lot of has views generated from somebody else's source material, then loses the record that a number of people watched their video. If I don't like that somebody else has generated several million views with my material, and I flag it and have the video taken down, then I lose the record of that. It's not transferred to my account, which I would think it should be. I should still have the credit for my video being viewed. I shouldn't be deprived of that because it was viewed somewhere else that I didn't give approval to. Now, ultimately then, we would have a means of returning not just the money lost, but the subscribers and the views, which are what people really need to build their channels. And we should recognize that there's something being taken beyond just the lost income from having your material used to make money for somebody else. There's also a competition for market share going on. Now, ultimately, the greatest benefit I think we can have by having an internet is not the money in the strictest sense. It's the security and the ability to communicate and build a society with respect for property rights, property in terms of the safety of your own body, the safety of your where you live and what you have as personal possessions, and freedom of speech and so on. We need a little bit of that sort of power for everybody, and if enough people keep, thinking and circumventing and working their way to build a community that supports other people, I hope we'll eventually find a way to do it.